Hello everybody, Jet here, and welcome back to one of my Let's Talks. Let's talk Total War 3 Kingdoms Warlord Legends Gongsun Zan. I just realised I've done the very naughty thing and not googled his name to check the pronunciation, so I apologise for my horrifically obviously getting it wrong. It's late, I'm tired, so yeah. As always, it's going to be shared on my Twitter, guys. I'm fairly sure you've probably already seen it because I'm a bit late to the party today. Long day at work. Anyway, this is the last of the Warlord Legends we're getting, so should be an interesting one. Sorry, coughing a bit there. As always, guys, big disclaimer. Everything is subject to change, so this could all change. I'm not CA staff, and I'm not a historian versed in the era. I hope I'm not a historian at all, so everything I'm saying could be completely and utterly wrong and rubbish. So our final warlord is Gongsun Zan, the Knight. A military-minded man who sees ruling a state much like commanding an army. Has long protected the northern territories against foreign invaders. Now it falls to him to defend these lands from power-hungry warlords of the south. Offers increased reinforcement range for his armies and access to unique white horse cavalry. Who is he? Gongsun Zan is a military-minded man who sees ruling a state much like commanding an army, as we've discovered. He's long defended the northern territories from the barbarians, along with Liu. However, a rivalry formed between them due to their differences in approach. Liu favoured more lenient policy towards the Wuhan and Xianbi peoples, while Gongsun Zan's was far more hardline. He used white horses when dealing with the Wuhan people, as they considered them to be a holy animal, and wouldn't attack them. In the cacophony of rising chaos, Gongsun Zan is heard like a clarion call above the fray. He stands firm to his beliefs and is unafraid to do what he feels is right. A childhood friend of Liu Bei, Gongsun Zan earned a reputation as a fierce warrior, defending the empire against foreign foes beyond the border. Gongsun Zan rules his lands with a martial mindset, with which he governs his forces. With the same martial mindset which he governs his forces. On the dangerous fringes of the empire, military precision in all things must be observed. Whichever allies he chooses, it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen whether Gongsun Zan can successfully seize the north and establish a dynastic line strong enough to see him become emperor. Playstyle. Gongsun Zan is a traditional military-minded character, and his playstyle reflects this. Focused on a militaristic approach to empire management, Gongsun Zan doesn't have access to administrators, but instead has his civic matters overseen by his commanding generals of his armies, who provide bonuses to the commanderies in which they're stationed. Now, this means one of two things. Either, generally, you could just generally tweak things like you can in most Total War games, so you've got various ways of altering what goes on in your territories, or you may have specific people in them usually, which obviously he doesn't get. Either that, or it just means he doesn't get some of the bonuses you naturally get, but you'll get extra bonuses for having armies there. We'll have to see from Let's Plays, which will come later on. Gongsun Zan himself provides two important bonuses as a faction leader. The first is a 50% reinforcement range, meaning that his armies are more likely to reinforce each other in all situations. This makes him particularly strong when he's on the defensive, and synergizes with the civic bonuses gained from his commanding generals. So there's obviously something his commanding generals are going to get, which is going to help with that. Maybe they get the same in defensive things. Again, that's something we'll have to see, but that kind of hints towards something there anyway. The second is his shock cavalry, which are more heavily armoured compared to other factions, and as such are more durable in combat. However, both of these units are specific to Gongsun Zan, meaning that they will both be lost should he fall and be replaced by his heir. I've yet to see how. I assume everybody's going to have their own thing, so obviously his heirs will have some benefits and things, and obviously some of the heirs will naturally be things which were historically there. But I imagine there'll be situations where you get heirs who are historically there, and I wonder if they inherit things from both lines a bit randomly. Again, that's something we'll have to see. Gongsun Zan's faction also benefits from the command of unique white horse archer cavalry. These are some of the most powerful horse archer units in game and can be used for a number of potent strategies in battle. I have to say, I'm not a great cavalry general, so neither of those really float my boat massively, but they do sound interesting. It's something I need to get better at. Guanzi. I'll read this from down here, as it's always the same up there. Gongsun Zan grew up with Liu Bei and maintains a good relationship with his former school friend. Furthermore, he also starts out with Zhao Yuan under his command, one of the greatest warriors of the Three Kingdoms period. However, although rich in friends, he has no children of his own, and so ensuring that he has a strong line of succession in place is an important part of Gongsun Zan's dynastic strategy. Gongsun Zan's starting position is in Yubeping Commandery. I definitely pronounced that wrong. I always read it as YouTube commentary. Is relatively secure, and it can be easily turned into a stronghold, but breaking out of it is no mean feat. So we're stuck up there. So basically, even if you just say here, you're going to have this behind you, but you're going to be able to build a fairly strong defensive line and push out through here. So your centre is going to be very secure to push out from, but it's looks to be more open territory here, which isn't necessarily as easy to fight in. So, but it could be interesting. Your rival, Liu Yu, starts to the west of you, so somewhere over here, posing a significant threat. It falls to you as defender of the north to defeat him and win control of the surrounding areas. You need to unify the north before chaos overtakes it. While your other neighbour, Yuan Shao, who I think starts in Bohai down here, grows ever more powerful, and conflict with him is almost inevitable, unless you can find a way to negotiate with him and Han Fu to turn a historical enemy into an ally. Your initial dilemma, again, we'll read this from down here. Everybody's got an initial dilemma. There is conflict between Gongsun Zan and his neighbor and the neighboring Liu Yu, who adopted a very different, more lenient strategy when dealing with the Wuhan and Xianbi peoples. Liu Yu is also supported by Dongzhu, and Gongsun Zan is resentful about Liu Yu's success. Additionally, Yuan Shu is asking for aid against Fan Yu, meaning you can choose to channel your resources towards this conflict in an attempt to appease him. On which of these two conflicts you focus, and where will you focus, and where will you direct your resources? So I think that's going to be pushing that way or pushing down there. I don't know where Han Fu starts. Historically, you can probably guess that if you from what actually happened in the histories, but it could be an interesting one. This one feels a little lighter than some of the others, but anyway, campaign progression. Gongsun Zan's initial focus should be securing a stronghold to the north. In the north, this could be incorporating and securing alliances with Gongsun's Du, but it might also be more efficient to subjugate Gongsun Du and dominate the entire area entirely, definitely. This could also be your opportunity to take out your rival Liu Yu and lay claim to the Han Empire region. Once this stronghold is established, your progression will inevitably lead you west, where conflict with Yuan Shao is likely. As such, it might be wise to find allies beyond Yuan Shao's realm, such as Han Yu, such as his brother Yuan Shu, the cunning Cao Cao, or even the bandits in the mountain Zhang Yan and Zheng Jian. So maybe Han Yu is between us. I'm not quite sure. Finally, Gongsun Zan must move to secure the north and the ultimate goal of becoming emperor. Gongsun Zan is the choice of expert militarists. He is a warrior without fear or restraint, but also a defensive master when the situation requires it. Bravery is his calling card, and there's an obstacle, and if there's an obstacle he has to conquer, you'd better hope he's on your side. Obviously, we've got the further reading as always, guys. So you're starting in the north, which is going to be a very strong position. It does sound like you've got a few tricky people to deal with once you're out, but you're going to need, pushing out into these open plains is never going to be as easy because it's going to be trickier, but you've always got your solid rear, your solid back to fall in here up on this little, I'd call it, it's not a peninsula, but it kind of is in the way the game will work. You won't be able to go up here. So you've got a very solid starting area, but you are potentially surrounded by tricky people. It does make him sound like a very interesting character, actually. Certainly militarily he could be very, very fun to play. He's probably doesn't sound like he's going to have as much of the diplomacy, the extra diplomacy aspects of some of the others, like Cao Cao and Yuan Shu and Yuan Xiao. But, he does sound like he's going to be a very interesting one to play with, guys. So, as always, please feel free to pop in anything in the comments, letting me know what you think, or jump over to my Discord and say hi there. There are also links. There's a link to my Discord in the comments and the description, as well as links to my Twitter, my Patreon, and my affiliations with Overclockers UK and Fanatical. Thank you very much for your time.